Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. So glad to take this moment, come before you again. For those of you who are familiar with the fact that I have been asking the citizens of the state of Minnesota to make me, as an independent, the next senator from the state of Minnesota, to do the kinds of things that I'm constantly talking about. As many of you know, my campaign is not the traditional campaign in that I don't raise money. I am not asking people to invest money into this campaign. And that alone, with an idea like that, seems by most people's interpretation to be kind of off-center. But the fact of the matter is that I represent what people pray for, what people ask others to pray for. I represent a new system. I represent a new world order, especially beginning here in the United States of America. And that is based upon the basic principle that people recognize that in order for them to have peace and prosperity and for their dreams to come true, they must respect people and treat people like they want to be treated. Now, this has been given such high priority, they call it God-like thinking. And even if you can't think like God, because God's thinking, I'm sure, is not limited to that, you, any thinking people, can see that. So if you're treating people right, you can have whatever your heart desires. It's been designed that way. But in spite of that, there's another advocacy out here that says, don't worry about the people. Forget about treating people right. Get the money. See, so they're using money to sidetrack what the original plan is for heaven on earth. They're using money to sidetrack what the original plan is for heaven on earth. Don't worry about people and what they think and what they're doing. Get the money. You see, with the money, you can get anything that heavenliness promises. And you don't have to be friends with everybody. You can just be friends with your elect group. You can just be alone by yourself. Just get the money. And if you have to use the people to get the money, then use the people to get the money, because once you get the money, you're all right. That's the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. And so, that being the case, I don't advocate using money to get a good end. It's impossible. So what I do expect is to share with people the truth about themselves and about their own dreams and aspirations. And if I only can speak that to one, that one should be in the same mindset to speak it to someone else. And likewise, now you got 2 speaking. Now you got 4 speaking it to someone else, and 8, and so on and so forth, until you get the message all across the nation. Not me, not the messenger, the message. The message is that you are not forgotten. It is the message that you are a creature and there is a creator that prepared for you to live, not die. And that message should permeate itself all across the United States of America without 1 penny being spent to do it. Maybe if you're using your telephone or something like that, it might be a cost incurred. But other than that, no, the truth, the freedom that you pray for, the freedom that you go to church and give your tithes and offering for, right here knocking on your door. So what I'm saying is that I'm conceding. I'll have people, if I can, at the election in about 3 weeks from now to see if I got any write-in. But at the same time, I'm using this moment, ladies and gentlemen, to get ahead of the game. The only reason I wanted to be senator from the state of Minnesota is that I can have a platform to speak to the people of this nation. Now, if I don't have that platform, and it seems as if I won't, that doesn't keep me from speaking to the nation by whatever means I have available to me. And so far, right now, it only seems that I have the social media. But I am expecting everyone who stops in for a second to hear what I'm saying to pass what I'm saying on along. Because, ladies and gentlemen, here's something you got going in your favor. I've sought after the office of President of the United States before, talking about the same things that I speak of now, and running into the same problems that I'm running into now. And so I'm expecting that these problems will continue. But together we can overcome them. Together we can overcome them. You see, what is happening is that when I ran for office before, a poor man, economically, no money, not asking for money. Then a rich man comes along, saying he got gold toilets, gold showers, probably got gold toilets in his plane because he got a big plane that really blows everybody's mind when they see it. And he'd like for it to be in the backdraft whenever you saw him. But now he has the American presidential plane. He got Air Force One standing back there. Oh, he's a big shot now. But he had all those things that everybody thinks will help them be free. And the man who talked to you about what you say you want got no attention. Now this man who has all of this stuff that you were hoping was going to bring some to you, some of you who don't need it are getting some. Those of you who really need it get a taste. And those of you who weren't getting it in the beginning are not getting it now. That's the way that bug rolls. And this person probably will run to be president in 2020. And all of the folks who used to hate him will be moving closer to his side, getting farther from the idea of treating people like you want to be treated, and believing that they can get the money. And that's the answer to their prayers. All I'm saying to you is this: to thine own self be true. If that's where you are, that's where you are. And nothing has happened to change that. And we accept that. But there is a God. Whether you believe it or not, there is a God. And all of our existence is because of that God. And the way that we want to live have been given to us to make the choice. We can live as if we're in heaven, or we can live as if we're in hell. Some of us say you're living as if you're in heaven. But most of you say that you're living as if you're in hell. And yet, your efforts to get out of hell seems to be climbing up that same tree that built and made it possible for you to sink to the level of hell. And the road that would lead to life, it seems as if you're afraid. You're afraid because of the message that you have been told. You've been told that if you try to please God, you can't dance. You can't go out and have fun. Some of you say you can't even indulge yourselves in sports. You can't play football, basketball, baseball. Some of them say you can't even wear certain color clothes. All that stuff is a bunch of garbage, ladies and gentlemen. Every color that comes as far as anything came from the Creator. The different ways it can be used come from the Creator. Even the way that it can be used to hurt you exists because you got choice as to how you would want to use it. But the goodness and its existence is from the Creator. So I wish I could impress upon you as one who has seen the hand of God. That God is not out to punish you. The dancing that you like to do, the laughing that you like to laugh, the jokes you like to tell, don't you think those are from God as well? All God wants you to do is love one another. Treat each other as being your brother, your sister, like you want to protect them, like you want to protect your pet. You love them. That's all God is asking to do. All this stuff, you scared if you have sex, God gonna punish you. What's sex for? What are the tools of sex for? Look, I realize that many of you know that people who have been held down for so long, it takes some time to build up trust. It's almost like when you go to, let's say, buffet place. Some people who've never gone to a buffet place before recognize that now you can get as much food as you want, go back as often as you want, and just being introduced to that, it seems like they got no limits. And when they finish, they have a whole bunch of plates stacked up in front of them. Each one of them got some food left on them, and you just got a big waste. Yes, when the doors are open and all of the gifts of life are available to everybody, people who have suffered the denial of these things will go at them like crazy. We expect that. But like going to the buffet line, once you find out that the food is always going to be there, you stop getting so many plates. You stop putting so much food on a plate because you know you can always go back and get it fresh. But after the time you've gone through a serving of a complete meal, you found out that, hey, you don't want it anymore. Not that it's not there, it's there. All you got to do is go back and get it. When you find out that your house, that your car, your clothes, your food and stuff is adequate to keep you comfortable for a time, you're not running trying to overload. That's trouble for you. You don't have time for that because now you got a chance to live. So ladies and gentlemen, yes, these kinds of things will occur. We must open and expect these things to happen because this is what we have built within our societies. And initially, we're trying to confine our efforts to the United States of America, even though the rest of the world will continue to go on as it has been going on. But we are becoming the model for the world to see heaven on earth. And as we, by virtue of the gift, the smartness, the genius of God, are able to operate this thing in such way that the rest of the nations and its people will long to be like this because they will finally see that heaven on earth is better than any hell they were trying to create. So I'm asking you, ladies and gentlemen, to consider 2020. A poor man who not only will be looking out for you who got nothing, not only will I make sure that if you give empowerment to the process, you will have to beg, cry out for nothing because what you need, want, and desire will be made available to you through the process. But I'm not just concerned about you. I'm concerned about that rich man who got all the money that he can possibly muster. How can you satisfy him? By not taking away anything that money has given. And also adding to that the freedom of knowing nobody's trying to steal it. No kind of way is there anyone trying to steal it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to consider this. Won't be asking for money. And I have made sure that I'm not just a straw in the wind. I got my life story on Facebook, YouTube, and a bunch of that other stuff. Thousands of videotapes. So you can know who I am. There's no hiding in my game. I'm not trying to talk what you call talking points and give you some mystery. I'm trying to tell you exactly what you have been asking for. You've been asking for peace, prosperity, and happiness in your life. You've been asking to be prayed for that happens. You've been wanting your dreams to come true. Now, I'm back to tell you that all of that stuff has never been taken away from you. You've given it away. And if you truly want it, wake up and let's take it back by loving. And I will be able, ladies and gentlemen, at least while I'm here, to share with you what the love of God means to me. And if you got something better, I got 2 ears, and I declare I'll listen with both of them. So I want to thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, trying to say let America knows that a poor man standing on the principles of loving one another, doing for one another as you would have others do unto you, is the solution to the problems that we experience socially and economically here in America. And that this campaign championing that, calling all of the people who believe in God, calling on all of the people who believe that every individual got the right to life, calling on all the people who will engage themselves and participate in that process to take this message and spread the news. Bye-bye.